Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Mary Payton with All About STEM Radio. And as you know, I come to you every Wednesday here on the Blue Stream from 6 to 7. And yes, it is Texas heat outside, and we gotta love it because you know I love me some Texas. And I got to start off with my weekly announcements. I'm still volunteering over at the Arlington Museum of Art, and the exhibit for Keith Haring is still going on, and we're starting to have a whole lot of people come in. A lot of merchandise is going out of the gift shop, but that is an exhibit that you're not going to see traveling anywhere else. That exhibit was specifically allowed us here in Texas to have it at our museum, and when it finishes, it goes back to its owners in Florida. I am just so excited about it. And to everybody in my listening audience, our Metro Authors Group is having its third annual Books, Burgers, and More. It's going to be Saturday, September 7th at the Eunice Activity Center on 1000 Eunice Street here in Arlington. So you have to come out. We have children's books, and I forgot to bring my books. I have Taylor STEM Adventures, Hawaii and Texas, and I'm working on a couple more. We have children's books. We have help books. We have drama. We have all of the different book types that you want to read. So please come out to Books, Burgers, and More's, Metro Authors Group's Book, Burgers, and More's third annual book festival. We're so excited. And yes, Audrey, I know you probably listening later. I know I got to get rid of the but I'm trying. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Maybe you can. Anyway, y'all, I got to tell y'all, I have one of the best guests on today. She's cute, she's pretty, she's young, she's from Venezuela. Adua Hernandez. She is a illustrator and a graphic designer, and she is not only smart, but she's also beautiful. I watch a little bit too much Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
But Adua, please say hello to my audience.
Hi, how are you?
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I'm grabbing stuff off the wall. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm an illustrator. I love to do children's books.
Okay.
Right here?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm an illustrator. I love to do children's books. I love to do pop art, fan art. I love to do, I don't know, if I see a movie and I like it, I will do an illustration about it.
When did you start your drawing?
Well, I start drawing when I was a little kid. Since I remember, I will draw all the walls. My mom would be crazy, but
Hold on, I'm going to fix your mic a little bit.
yeah.
Hold on. I could start singing, but I won't.
Oh, right, like this.
I'm having one speak right into there.
Okay.
Because you're fading out a little bit. All right, because I want to make sure my audience hears you.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I didn't know all of that of me was going to be seen on the camera. But anyway, I read in your bio that you did your first mural at 2 or 3 years old.
Oh yeah.
What was that
yes.
about?
Yeah, I draw something like a dinosaur because I love dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yeah, I love them. And my mom went crazy. I mean, she tried to clean it off the wall. She couldn't, so she break the wall and then tried to fix it. And then when I grew up, I was like, Mom, but it did look like a dinosaur. It was okay. You should be like, I mean, you should know that I will be doing this for the rest of my life because that looked like a dinosaur. I mean, the whole mess that she did when she tried to clean it.
Well, some kids, we go around breaking things, and others of us draw on the wall. But, I mean, that was your first mural.
Yeah.
So, give me some information on, how you evolved as an artist.
Well, I always paint. I always draw. Actually, my first mural was when I was 6 years old. I think I draw the Little Mermaid in my
Oh,
wall.
okay.
Yeah, I
I
love
love that Little Mermaid.
Yeah, and I love mermaids. And then that's all I do. Maybe it was because I was only child
Mm-hmm.
until I was 9 years old. Then after that, I think, well, that's the only thing that I do. If I was bored, I will draw. If I was happy, I will draw. If I was sad, I will draw. That's the only thing that I actually do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that it was actually a career, and I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
When I found out that it was actually a career, I was okay. That's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And I enrolled in the Art Institute in
Mhm.
Caracas, and they teach me a lot of stuff, a lot of techniques, composition.
Well, let me go back just a moment to when you were in school. Did what type of art classes did they have in school?
Well, in Venezuela we have art classes.
Just
but
regular art,
just
nothing.
regular, yes.
Mhm.
I wouldn't do good in art classes.
Why?
I was so bad in art classes. Actually, my art teacher hated me. Like, don't do that. Why do you want to do that? And I was like, because this way is more fun.
So what were you doing?
Whatever I would like to.
To draw?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were like, okay, I had a copy, like a line art
Yeah.
of the Mona Lisa, and I was like, that doesn't look good. Maybe if we did this and we tried to fix it, and then my art teacher would be like, yeah, you are showing off. Get out of here.
I cannot believe you said the Mona Lisa didn't look good.
Because
you know she's supposed to be one of the prettiest women in the world.
It was a line art, like
Okay.
the teacher gave us like a line art of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Mona Lisa, and it didn't look good.
Oh, okay.
The line art, like one of the activities that
Mm-hmm.
they make you do
Mhm.
back then, and I was like, okay, no. So I will do other things, like, okay, let's make this line art actually look like it was,
Mhm,
like the
mhm.
Mona Lisa. And then I remember my art teacher saying, you're showing off. Get out of here. Why don't you? Because I think she was like, she actually studied art, and she actually did that line art.
Yes.
I hurt her feelings, and I'm really sorry.
Well, that may have been her specialty, and yeah, you probably hurt her feelings.
Yeah, I know.
Because, children can be kind of mean. They don't mean to.
Well, I wasn't really that old. that young, sorry. I wasn't really that young. But yeah, my art teacher hated me.
Okay. Now, you said you went to the Art Institute?
Yeah, I went to Instituto de Diseño en Caracas.
Say that again?
Instituto de Diseño de
Okay.
Caracas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Design Institute in English,
Okay.
but it's like it's a really good art institute in Caracas.
Mhm.
They teach illustration, graphic design, interior design, and industrial design.
Okay.
And when I get there, I was really excited about drawing classes,
Mm-hmm.
but the drawing classes in there were different.
Okay. What do you mean different? Different how?
Well, it has a lot of constructions.
Construct.
Yeah, like if you want to do something, you have to start with a box.
Oh, okay.
Drawing boxes, it's different because when you go to the art, maybe at art institute you imagine that you're gonna draw like a bowl of fruits,
Yes.
and that's it. And in there, no. The first drawing classes is about lines
Uh-huh.
and construction and understanding the volume
Okay.
and everything. Then we have like claroscuro.
Say that again.
Chiaroscuro, how did you say? Well, it's just about shading,
Okay.
and then when I started the illustration career, it was so fun because we have like live models
Mm-hmm.
in the classroom, and we will draw them, paint them. It was so fun.
Okay. Now, at the institute, was it all drawing, or did you also use technology there?
Yes, we do. We do use a lot of technology there. They teach you how to use Adobe
Okay.
Adobe
Okay.
Suite,
Hmm.
and also 3D.
Oh,
Yeah,
you do 3D?
yeah, I did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Y'all, if you see some of her work, now she illustrated the Maxine stories that are written by Dr. Linda Mubarak. And those stories are so cute. But Adua did all of the illustrations for those books. And you also did illustrations for Louis,
yeah,
right?
for
Louis
yeah,
McLean?
yeah. I did illustration for him,
Mm-hmm.
for Cherlyn Jernigan,
Uh-huh.
and Christian Gomez.
Okay.
I really like that book.
Oh,
It's
what is it, that book?
I think I have it right here. It's about creativity. Creativity.
Oh, you can hold it up. People can see it.
Right here?
Either. That is so cute.
Yeah, I really like this book.
Oh, let me see it. Let me see it. Now you did this illustration.
Yeah, that book. I really like that book.
This is so cute. Oh, I love this. These are so nice. And you know what? We don't really give our kids a lot of credit anymore about being creative. We sit them in front of the TV or we give them a video game. A lot of our kids don't go outside and make mud pies anymore. They don't. Or like I used to get in trouble for tearing things up and building stuff and,
Oh, I
you
do
know,
like.
helping do construction and stuff like that. I love this book. Thank you.
Yeah,
Did you bring any more of your books that you've
Yeah.
illustrated? Let me see.
uh,
And I forgot. Oh, those
yeah,
are the Maxine
Maxines.
books.
Yeah, I love Maxines.
These are Dr. Linda Jones Mubarak's books. This one is Maxine's New Job, and she will be having these at Books, Burgers, and More. And Adua did the illustration for this, and this book was also given a award for from Goodreads. And I mean, look, wait a minute. It was an illustration in here where she's sitting it by the window. Okay, I love this first one too. This one right here.
Yeah.
I love that one.
She's she's so cute, so likable.
Mm-hmm. Now, you worked on this book, and I got other questions down here, and I done totally got off on something else. Which one is that? Is that the second Maxine book?
Maxine.
What I loved about this book, now this is Maxine Listens, is the back cover. That back cover is so outstanding. I mean, you got Maxine as a detective, and I just love this. So, thank you for bringing these, because I did forget to bring mine. But anyway, now, you know, you came up. We talked about elementary, high school, so on and so forth. But when you graduated the institute, how did you start to really step out in the world of illustration?
Well, it was hard.
Oh, I know.
It's hard because everybody are there. There's a bunch of people doing illustration, and everybody is so good. And
Mhm.
sometimes you feel like, okay, you're not good enough, or maybe. But well, I had a phase that I had given up, and I started working as a graphic designer, which it was good,
Okay.
and it's fun for me. I like doing graphic design. Then I realized, okay, maybe. I started doing the daily challenge. Like, I follow this Instagram account that
Mhm.
they will post a theme
Yes.
each day, and you have to do it.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this sounds like fun. I started doing it, and then everybody, I started to gain followers.
Yes. Yes.
And then people started to contact me about, okay, I want you to do this illustration. And I was like, oh, okay, I like that. Okay, I will. I will do my best.
Now, you were doing this from Venezuela, right?
Yes.
Now, how was it working with people in other countries and you're in Venezuela?
Well, I think, it wasn't really that hard. Everything was through emails.
Email, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of technology now, so we use maybe WhatsApp calls, Skype,
Mhm.
but it was mostly emails,
Okay.
and it was good.
Yeah. Now, you know what I noticed when I was doing my books, a lot of people don't understand this, especially when they're doing children's books, that you have a story, and it's not necessarily up to that illustrator to sit there and try to figure out what that picture is. You have to do a storyboard, and in that storyboard, you have to put in what the what the character is doing, what they're wearing, uh, how they're standing, what you want them doing, who they're talking to, how they're interacting. Now,
Yeah, that way is easier for the illustrator because that way you know what the author really wants.
hmm
So, okay, the author wanted like, well, okay, you got it,
hmm
and that's it.
and one of the things I noticed with mine, and you found that kind of
Yeah.
strange or kind of funny here. I sent actual pictures,
Yeah,
and you were like, "These are real pictures." I'm like, "Yeah, these are the STEM adventures. These are things that we actually did." So,
yeah, that you took actually the pictures. I thought when I saw the storyboard because I was helping a friend with
Okay.
the storyboard. I thought like, okay, those are Google images. Don't worry, don't worry. And he was like, "Did you think so?" Yeah. No, I'm really sure those are Google pictures. And then when I met you, and you told me, no, I actually took the picture. I was there, and I was like, oh my god.
so that's why I say STEM adventures.
Yeah.
So they're actual places that we went and actual pictures from where we were.
Yeah.
So,
He
yep.
was so excited. I was like, oh my god, and I have to call my friend. I remember that I called my friend that day, and I was like, you know the pictures that Dr. Mary sent us? Yeah, they were actually real places, and she was there. She was the one who took the pictures.
But I mean, if you're doing an illustration for a book, you're really trying to bring that story to life.
Yeah.
And, every page, everything or the images that the people want to portray. I mean, you do very well in doing that.
Yeah, I think it's just because I sometimes I get too involved in the story, and I like the characters. They're like my friends. So when I was drawing Maxine, I was like, okay, I like this girl. I know this girl could be my friend.
Oh, Dr. Linda's on. Hello, Dr. Linda. And I don't have my reading glasses on. So, Vera. Is that Vera? Is that Vera Harris? Vera, I haven't seen you in a long time. And Miss Green, hello, hello, hello. So, Miss Smith. So, we've got people that have joined. And if anyone wants to call in and ask Adua any questions, the number here is 214-431-5062. That's 214-431-5062. And again, Metro Authors Group is having its third annual book festival called Books, Burgers, and More. And you can get Maxine Listens and Maxine's new job, Taylor's STEM Adventures Texas, Taylor's STEM Adventures Hawaii, and many, many, many more books. We have some great authors here in the Metroplex, and they will be participating, bringing their books for you to buy. Please, please, please come out. But let me get back to my wonderful, wonderful guest, Miss Adua Hernandez from Venezuela. She's here visiting, but she has illustrated several books, and I love talking to her about the process. Now, Adua, you are so talented. Okay. Now, when you do your books, when you work on your books, work with someone, what kind of communication do you want from them as an illustrator?
Well, I always love when authors are really explicit
Yes.
about what they want
Mm-hmm.
because that saves us, the illustrators, that saves us a lot of work.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I love when they send reference.
Okay.
I love when they send reference of certain things, and I know when it's really easy and enjoyable
Mm-hmm.
when the author knows what he wants.
Okay.
But if not, it's always good to brainstorming, and I
Yeah.
also love that process.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I try to do like a different style for each author
Yes, yes,
because everybody wants their book to be theirs.
yes, yes.
They don't want something like looks like computer generated or something. So when I start to work with an author, I always give them
Yes.
two options of character design. So
Okay.
they will pick. Okay, let's go with the look and feel, or let's do a mix between them.
Okay.
So I always try to make the author feel good. Like, okay, if the author wants something, okay, you got it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, because there's always a way to do it right that you're gonna be happy, and both people are gonna be happy. And if sometimes they ask you for something and you're like, I have to do all this thing again. But when I do it, I know that it's better.
Yes.
It looks better, and I love feedback because it always makes the art look better, and I like it. Sometimes I read some descriptions that are really hard, and I panic. Okay, but then I sit, relax. Oh, okay, it wasn't really hard. It's really, and I like how it looks.
Yeah. And the reference material helps a lot,
Yes.
probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because living in Venezuela, everything is different.
Yes, yes.
You know, and it's a country in South America. The houses, everything is different,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids, and everything is different. So the one thing that I'm enjoying being here is like, oh, the houses look like this. Okay, the kitchen look like this. The bedrooms look like this. The other day, I went with one of the authors, Charlie Jernigan, to
Yes.
one of the schools in Dallas. It was before summer break.
Yes.
And I was so happy, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm taking reference of all of the kids' hairstyles.
Yes.
Because the only reference that I have is Google.
Mm-hmm.
Is Google, and Google doesn't have a lot of reference.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it does, but when you can see something in real life, you can put it more into context. Like if someone tells you they want you to draw a church, do you know what a lot of our churches look like around here? Because if you're here, it could be like a really big, beautiful church. If you go to where my grandparents are from, Fairfield, Texas, it could be just a little wooden building. So it just,
Yeah, being here author sending the reference
uh-huh,
helps a lot.
a lot.
Because
Now, I want to ask the question, and we're going to come back to the drawing and illustrating again in just a moment, or the books in just a moment. You say you do 3D,
yes.
but what is your favorite art design or drawing design you like to do?
Well, I love to do character design. Character design.
Character design.
Yes, that's my favorite thing. I enjoy it so much. I enjoy it really. I really enjoy it.
And I noticed I went on your website, and you do have some beautiful mermaids on there, and puppies and cats, and you do character design very, very well.
Thank you.
But what other types of designs have you done?
Well, I've done background design.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really good at backgrounds, but I always try. That's one of my goals, to be good at character design. Background design. That's one of my goals. I love portraits. I love doing portraits. I am really good doing actually portraits of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it more fun to do cartoons and create characters from the person. It's more challenging.
Uh-huh.
It's more challenging because you have to capture like the personality of that person
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
in a cartoon. And it's challenging. It is. But I like to do that. But when when I'm bored or when I want to practice, I will do portraits.
Oh.
Yeah, I like doing portraits. And
Now, have you done portraits of your family?
yes,
I know you have.
a lot of my little brother. I love to draw my little brother. And when he was little, I love to do it. There's a bunch of drawings back home.
Oh.
A bunch of drawings because he was so cute with all his big eyes and cheeks. So
You need to make a picture book or a storybook of him.
yeah, maybe. I like my little brother. I love him a lot. Yeah.
Or draw him as a character in somebody's book and not tell him.
Maybe. I actually do that a lot. People don't know, but a friend's daughter is in one of the books that I'm working on. Right now. I was drawing. I was like, oh, you know what? She looks like her. Nobody will know.
But yeah, I mean, you do such great work, and
Thank
I mean,
you.
and you know, I know you worked with Dr. Linda while you were still in Venezuela,
Yes.
and you were still in Venezuela when you helped to finish up my book. And you know what? I want to thank Jorge so much because the first book was drawn by Mentari, a gentleman. I don't know if he was in India or somewhere else, but he was in a different country. And when Jorge took over the second book, because Mentari, had some family things that had new baby and all that stuff. When Jorge took over the second book, I'm like, oh my goodness, is he going to be able to draw the character the same? And I was extremely lucky because Jorge drew everything, and that's what you do. Because I
Yes.
saw the line drawings that you did for Dr. Linda's book, and I'm like, this is not computer generated. This is actually drawn.
Yes. That's how it's supposed to work.
So from the line drawing to, wait a minute, why is my sister calling me? I'm not going to talk to her right now. I love you, Peggy. I hope you're listening to the show. But how do you go from the line drawing to the actual illustration?
Well,
I mean, to the actual final product. Hold up, Maxine. How do you go from? How do you get from the line drawing, which I've seen, to this final little girl, beautiful little girl that looks just like me? Then
Yeah.
you didn't know me.
well, I like to draw in paper.
Uh-huh.
All the sketches, maybe. Well, one of the things that I always do is try to draw little thumbnail sketches on the post-its. And then I like this, then I will go to an iPad or a Cintiq,
Mm-hmm.
and I will recreate the same thing. Maybe sometimes I took picture
Mm-hmm.
of the drawing that I just did.
Mm-hmm.
I open it in Photoshop and then start to actually drawing
Mm-hmm.
a little bit cleaner
Mm-hmm.
with clean lines, more like line art.
Yes.
I send it to the author,
Uh-huh.
and if the author approves it, then I start to do applying colors.
Yes.
And that part is really fun because I started to just coloring. It's really like doing the normal thing.
And you're doing that, are you doing that on paper, or are you doing that on your computer?
And the computer.
Oh.
Mostly on the computer.
Okay.
But it's just like drawing on a piece of paper. It's
Okay.
mostly-
All right. Because I remember when I got my line drawings from y'all from Venezuela, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, they're actually drawing these,
Yeah.
from scratch. And the picture, oh, I hate I didn't bring my book. The picture of Taylor going to Austin, and you had the Capitol and him and his aunt and mother in the car. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this was so
Yeah,
different.
I think my friend's sketches were actually on pencils.
Uh-huh.
I think it was. I don't know. I remember his sketches being actually on paper and pencils. I don't I never send my pencil sketches. Never,
Mhm, mhm.
never. I really don't like my sketches. My initial sketches are really rough. So if I want the author to actually approve it. So okay, I'm gonna do like a really clean line, a beautiful line, so the author will know what is going on
Mhm.
and will approve it. Because my pencil sketches are a mess. It's like a bunch of lines.
But to go from those drawings to this, I mean, I'm looking at the color. You have different post-its on here of different colors and different things on the boards. How do y'all come up with all of this when you're doing your books? And I mean, on every page. Hey, Gary. Hey, Stephanie was on, and we have Technico from Nigeria is also on. So it's very early in the morning there.
Yeah.
But how do you go from, how do y'all decide on the colors, the background colors, and all of that on the page?
Well, in this, I decided more the colors in that book, in the second book,
Uh-huh.
because in the first one, Dr. Linda was clear in how Maxine will dress.
Yes, yes, yes.
She knows. In this page, I want her to wear purple, and I was like, okay, that helps a lot, because I will use colors that looks good with purple,
Okay.
and I always try to create contrast
Mm-hmm.
when I'm doing the illustration. So
Okay.
the main part of the illustration
Uh-huh.
is gonna be the main point to focus. For example, I was really worried about her profile because I wanted people to just look at her face.
Yes.
So there's no way. I just had to place a blank space behind her
Mm-hmm.
to create the contrast.
Okay. Okay.
And then I was like, okay, I like she's wearing blue. Maybe blue looks good with orange.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I just use those colors and shades.
Okay. And you have to make the characters actually pop.
Yeah, that's
So
what
I
I'm
mean,
trying.
because you have a foreground, you have a background, and you. I like the fact that you're telling the audience about what colors go with what colors.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I mean, everybody that study illustration of if you are if you want to color your art
yes,
or
yes.
something, you have to study color theory,
Mm-hmm.
because color can express emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and it can help you to tell a story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you want a character that is using, for example, in this one, she's wearing purple, so I just add yellow because it's the
Yeah.
opposite color,
Okay.
so that will look good on her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Cheryl. How are you, Cheryl Grace? She, her and Dr. Linda have their show here, the Authors Lounge, and here we are talking about books, but we're talking about STEAM today, my audience. So that's why we're putting art in here. And don't forget, y'all, I'm going to keep saying this, September 7th, Books, Burgers, and More at the Eunice Recreational Center here in Arlington. You have to come out and visit and purchase some of these books from some of these great authors that are going to be there. Cheryl is going to be there too. She's got, I don't know if she has 2 books or 3 books. Maybe she has 4. She's a genius. But y'all, please come out. Are you going to be at Books, Burgers, and More?
Maybe when is it?
September 7th.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to come out. You got to come out. But getting back to illustration, when let's take a book this size.
Okay.
People write a book and then they want to get it published and they have to get an illustrator. When you do this, I know you can't really say how long it takes, but because a lot of that depends on the communication between
Yes.
you and the author, right?
Yes. I mean, sometimes it just take me 2 hours.
Mhm.
Sometimes
To do a page.
to do a page when I'm
Oof.
really focused. When I'm really focused and enjoying the process.
Mhm.
Other times it will take me a little bit
Mhm. Mhm.
longer because sometimes I'm not really sure about what the colors I'm gonna use,
Mhm.
or or if I don't really like how it looks, so I will start over.
Does the author also send you the text from the book, or just a story, or just guidance on how they want the picture to look?
Oh well, they always send me the story, the manuscript.
Okay.
It's really important because sometimes I will read the storyboard and I was like, okay, but then I read the text, and okay, this makes more sense now.
Okay.
So I really need to read the story, so to know what the author wants to transmit, what the author wants to express.
Okay, and I like what you just said, to help you with what the author's vision really is, what they want to transmit, what they want to say. And I got a note here from Dr. Linda. She says, Adua translated my Maxine series to Spanish. She's great.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I saw that come out. That
Yeah.
Maxine's her series is now in Spanish.
Yeah, please buy it. It's really good. I really like this story. Maxine Job is really good, and it's really sweet.
It is, and I mean, I've loved what you've done with it. And when I had a glitch with my second book, and Louis is the owner of Melanin Origin, which is a publishing company here in Arlington. When that's a plug, Louis. When he recommended Jorge to do it, and I was like, okay, where is he? Jorge was in Venezuela. Louis was here in the United States, and at the time I was in South Korea.
Okay. Now everything makes sense. Yeah.
So trust me, my son Aaron that you met,
Yeah.
he'd have to go online and help me to find pictures that I needed to send. But we got it done, and I appreciate everything that Jorge, Louis, you,
Yeah.
Linda, Cheryl. It's a whole glitney of people. Aaron that had to help me. But you're doing this, and it is so nice. Now, do you do any animation, or have you thought about animation?
I love animation. I really love animation. That's like my dream.
Uh-huh.
I did a couple of animations
Okay.
in the art institute, and they were good.
Well, it's a learning process.
Yes, it is a learning process. I really admire animators.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could study actually animation because it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to study how the people moves.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, "Oh, yeah, it's something for kids," but it's not. It's really hard. And
And what type of programs are out there for? Well, let's back up with the drawing first. What type of programs are out there for, let's say, drawing?
well, I mostly use the Photoshop.
Okay.
Photoshop when I'm doing this kind of illustrations.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But when the client or the author wants something more clean,
Mhm.
I have to use Adobe Illustrator
Okay.
because that's more clean and everything. With Adobe Photoshop, I can use more textures
Mm-hmm.
and play a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
With Adobe Illustrator is another process. It's more clean, but both are fine.
Mm-hmm.
Both are fine. Right now, I'm using Procreate. There's
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
that's an app for iPads, and it's amazing. I'm loving it.
Oh.
I'm loving it. It feels so good, and it feels like really natural.
Uh-huh.
Natural, like you're drawing a piece of paper. If I lean the pencil a little bit, it would actually paint like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like it. In Photoshop, it doesn't happen that much.
It doesn't happen that quickly.
Yeah, I mean it's different. It's different,
Mm-hmm.
but Photoshop is good.
Okay. But so when you do animation, what type of apps or tools are out there for animation? Do you know?
Yeah, Toon Boom is the best one.
Who is that?
Toon Boom.
Doom Boom?
Yeah,
Okay.
Toon Boom is the best one for cutout animations,
Mm.
just like The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so many TV animation are made in Toon Boom.
Okay.
and it's really good. I only tried once.
Mhm.
For me, it was complicated. I started with Anime Studio. Anime
Okay.
Studio at the Art Institute. Yeah, it was good, but no,
No.
it was really bad. Then I made some exercises using Photoshop. In Photoshop, I went well because it was just like making 40 drawings
Okay.
and creating a GIF.
Okay.
A GIF. I don't know how to say it.
Mhm.
It it was good. It was about a dancer,
Okay.
a ballerina. It was good. I had to try it on Procreate. I had to try it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't good on animation. And I did a walking cycle in 3D with one of my characters. Mm-mm. It
It's
wasn't
something you'll have to practice.
good. Yes.
Now, are you looking at like drawing some of your own characters for use, for your own use, or to put out there in the market for people?
Yeah, I actually have one. Her name is Yara.
Yep.
Yara, she is well, she's inspired in she's inspired in a Venezuelan tale.
Okay.
I love her. I love her because she has purple hair. I know, but it's like purple is like a variation of black.
Oh, okay.
And she's indigenous.
I think is she on your website?
Yes.
I saw her.
Yeah, I really like her, and she has like I think green eyes. I really like her. Oh well, I'm working on her book. I hope it's gonna be soon out there because I think well that's like my own project.
Hmm.
I want to be able to tell Venezuelan stories.
Oh, okay. I
Venezuelan
like that.
stories. Because I mean every culture is great, and we need to tell our own stories. I mean I really admire how Mexico. I mean everybody knows about Mexico. I really
Mhm,
admire
mhm.
how they sell their culture,
Yes.
and I love it because it's a culture so pretty, beautiful, and everybody knows
Mhm.
about them. So I would like to do something like that.
Okay. And in actuality, a lot of what we do, especially in Metro Arthur's group, is we tell our own story.
Yes.
Although we're a group, anybody can join. With me, because my kids and I traveled, and a lot of people don't think that African Americans travel. I mean, although that I was in the military, but I didn't just work while I was in the military. My kids and I did other things. We went to the volcanoes and stuff like that, and that was my thing. Is I want to show what we do. Dr. Linda's thing is helping others, and there are so many things out here that people can help with, like the Texas Food Bank and so on and so forth. But we all have our story, and I think I got to remember which one of the authors in our group wrote a book about President Obama,
Oh, nice.
Black Man, White House. And it's a children's book. It's a beautiful book. And I should have brought all these books with me. I'm just kicking myself right now. Dr. Linda, Cheryl, don't get on me. I love y'all. But, it is our stories that you're right. We do have to put things out there.
Yeah, because everybody has a story to tell,
Yes.
and I mean, I know, I mean, I mean, living in Venezuela, I wasn't really aware
Yes.
of our own stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't really aware, and I grew up and I said, okay, it's good to know where you come from, the
Yes.
stories that you have. I mean, I know all about the Venezuelan actual story, but I didn't know about our tales, like our indigenous tales.
Oh.
So that's what I really don't. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, I started like doing research, and I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. I mean, I want to create the things that I didn't have
Uh-huh.
when I was a kid. And it was good because I see all other cultures telling their stories.
Yes.
They and in Venezuela it's like, okay, there's not so many websites about it. So
Yes.
that's why I'm so excited about Yara. Although I have to change a little bit the story,
Okay.
but that's an artistic process, and I'm taking the license.
Yeah. I mean, it's your story. It's your.
But she's inspired
Yes.
in one of the Venezuelan tales.
Before we get too far, because the show is almost over, believe it or not.
Oh, really? I was so scared of that.
You shouldn't have been scared. But if someone wanted to look at your work, where's your website?
Okay, my website is www.adua.hernandez.com.
Okay, that's www.AduaHernandez.com.
Yeah.
Now, in Texas, if you don't know how to spell Hernandez, I couldn't remember. I was trying to figure out which letters I was supposed to put in to spell Adua. Adua is what I called you forever. Not Adua, is Adua.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, you pronounce it fine. Back home, everybody will call me by other name like Laura, Aura.
How did they get louder?
I don't know. And one time, someone called me Abdul, and I was like, okay, that doesn't even look and sounds like Adwa, so that's weird. Yeah, people here pronounce my name better. I'm really grateful for that.
Well, you can thank Dr. Linda for that because she talks about you so much.
I
Louis
love
talks
them
about you so
both.
much.
I love
I
them
mean,
both.
you have done some great work. But what are you looking at in your future as far as illustration? Are you going to continue? Are you wanting to do more? I know you talked about your book, your stories.
Yeah, well, Yara's gonna be the first one.
Uh-huh.
Then I would love to do something about the Amazons.
Oh.
Yeah, because in Venezuela, there's a part of the Amazon. Actually, it's really sad right now because the Amazon is on fire.
Really?
Yeah, and nobody's talking about it.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, it's been burning for 15 days. Yeah, it's really
What?
bad. But yes, I would love to do something about the Amazons.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazon River. We have this beautiful place in Venezuela, Roraima,
Okay.
which is it's really weird. But the movie Up,
Yes.
yes, you know where they travel.
Uh-huh.
That was inspired in that song in Venezuela,
Really?
and also the movie Avatar, the Avatar
Okay.
movie, the
Uh-huh.
one with the blue aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all the floating rocks were inspired in Venezuela. Yeah, so we had a really cool
And you know,
stuff
nobody
there.
talks about that. Nobody talks about that. We think, oh, it's animated or whatever, but nobody really
Yeah,
and that's a whole cultural thing.
yeah, the tepuis, which is like these rocks.
Mm-hmm.
I know they look like a tree root, and there's
Yeah.
actually an indigenous story about how they were formed. They said it was like this big tree that connects to the gods and
Mhm.
everything. It was trimmed,
Yes.
and that's how the mountain looks so weird.
Oh.
But it's good.
Well, hey, Adua, I have loved having you on the show. And I know you've been on other shows here at Fishbowl, but this was your show.
Yeah, and I was
This
so
was the
excited.
Adua show.
Yeah,
And I want to thank you for bringing some of your books with
Thank
illustrations
you.
in. And I'm kicking myself about not bringing Taylor STEM Adventures. My son Taylor came over at the last minute today to do something, and I did not put them in my bag. So, Linda, your book is getting a lot of press today. But I love you. Here, let me let you have that to put back in your bag. And next week, ladies and gentlemen, I will still be doing STEAM. I will have Mr. Brian White from the Arlington Museum of Art. He's going to come in and talk about the great things that's happening this year. And also, don't forget, teachers, Arlington teachers. The Arlington Museum of Art is giving you a year membership for only $15. So please, please, please don't forget that. And I will be back next week with All About STEM Radio. Bye-bye.